in English, one who wants to become free, he wants to become liberated, must first of all learn that he is not this material body. Now, why he should learn this? Because if I'm identifying myself with this body, then what I'm going to be liberated from? If I'm identifying with a cell in which I'm captured in a jail, then from where will I get liberated? Is it understandable? If I'm thinking that I am this cell, I am this prison house, then will I ever think of liberation? समझ रहे हैं कि नहीं? So the first thing a person has to understand is that he is not the prison house. Whether it's good or bad, whether it has golden railings or iron railings, but I am not the prison house. We should be very happy to know this. I am not this body. Mukti or liberation means freedom from material consciousness. What is a material consciousness? That I am the controller and surveyor of everything which I own this, I'll enjoy this. This is called material consciousness. And spiritual consciousness means everything belongs to Krishna. I belong to Krishna and I should serve Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, the definition of liberation is given. Very simple. Muktva muktir hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. Muktir. Mukti means liberation. Hitva anyatha rupam. Hitva means giving up. Anyatha rupam. This body is anyatha rupam. This is not my real sarupa. So, giving up this consciousness that I am this body, swarupena vyavasthiti. Vyavasthiti means perfectly situated. To be situated in your own sarupa and to give up all the other sarupa or conception of life is called mukti. So please, can somebody repeat what is mukti? Nobody can repeat? It is too difficult. It is inconceivable, inexplicable. Yes. Anirvachaniya. I'm asking you the question, what is water? And I'm getting the answer, what is milk? What is the question? Question is, what is mukti? What is liberation? I just now explained it. Yeah, it's amazing how either people are too tired. Why you are not able to understand this point? Yes, when we are getting rid, first of all, when we get rid of material consciousness and we are situated in a real constitutional position of servant of Krishna, then that is called mukti. Now, it may appear very simple to you, and it is simple. If I decide in right now that I'm a servant of Lord and I'll serve Him, I am liberated. It is as simple as this. Are you able to understand, Murari Prabhu? If you accept I'm servant of Krishna and I'll engage in Krishna's service, no matter what that service is, you are liberated. It's as simple as this. So one should always engage in Krishna's service. The form of service may change, but the attitude of service should remain the same. Does it make sense to you? You can sing for Krishna, you can cook for Krishna, you can grow tulsi plant for Krishna, you can clean for Krishna, but the attitude of service must not change. The form of service may change, but in doing all those services, we are in a liberated position. Iha yasya haredasya karmana manasa gira nikhilasu api avastasu jivan mukta sauchate. So now if my family member is saying, do not practice Krishna consciousness. So what he's saying? Or it is too early to practice Krishna consciousness, then basically what he's saying is, you remain situated in this stinging foul body for time eternity. Because if you practice Krishna consciousness, then you'll be liberated. So in their ignorance, which we think as love, they are only instructing us to remain bound to this material world. And anybody else who gives you this suggestion that you should be a great man in this world, he's is giving the same advice to remain bound in this material world. My Guru Maharaj made a very nice statement. No matter how much great you are in this world, the funny thing is that you have to pass stool. Have you ever realized this point? No matter how great you are, how proud you may feel of yourself, the reality is every day we are forced to go to toilet. And that's not a good experience. That completely blows off the bubble of becoming great in this world. That means no matter how great we are in a most nasty body. And we have no idea what a spiritual body actually means. I also don't have an idea, but if we hear about it, then we can aspire and think, oh, what that spiritual body will be like. Going more heavy for this, that's why we want to enjoy another rotting body. You understand these points? That's why we want to enjoy another rotting body, which is named as, it's like a brahmachari class now, which is named as wife or husband. And these are not my statements. They are statements of Rukmani Devi in Bhagavad. Any woman who gives you up, O Lord Krishna, and accepts another husband, which is actually with some mustache and all this, some muscles, she's fool only. She's a fool, thinking that the husband will give her protection, accepting a body which has mustache and hairs and all those things as her husband. And the same thing holds for a man also. These things we don't like to hear, but we need to hear. How far we are from a Sarupa, spiritual body, unaging, powerful. Can we think? Unless we hear from Bhagavad Gita, we can never think. So this is the whole point. Mukti means liberation from the contaminated consciousness of this material world and situation in pure consciousness. All the instructions of Bhagavad Gita are intended to awaken this pure consciousness, and therefore we find at the last stage of the Gita's instructions that Krishna is asking Arjuna whether he is now in purified consciousness. Purified consciousness means acting in accordance with the instruction of the Lord. This is the whole sum and substance of purified consciousness. So why we highlighted this point? First of all, you must understand what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. What did we learn from this? To purify our consciousness. What is the defect of consciousness? We want to enjoy matter. So give up this enjoyment tendency of matter and have this pure consciousness of I am a servant of Krishna and my only duty is to satisfy Krishna. We may hear this a million times over, but we forget it a billion times over. Why? Then because we put it as a priority, I have to satisfy my mother or my motherland. Make sense? I'm heavy in these classes. I feel more free now. Somehow. It's not live on YouTube or something. Complete stupidity. And doing all these kind of things, the only prize is next body. We have done this in a previous life, and this is the reward we have got, this body. So now this life should be dedicated to serving Krishna, and it's so simple. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, you please Krishna. To the effect that Mahaprabhu says, you have made me Kritartha hoila. Kritartha means I'm grateful that you have made me hear the holy name of Krishna. This is how Mahaprabhu's mood is. Prabhupada says if they are the most fallen person, even still you chant Hare Krishna, Srimati Radharani is considered you are a very nice person. Such a simple thing. If no service, chant Hare Krishna. Read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Very easily we can please Krishna. Simply by hearing, simply by remembering, simply by talking. These three things are free of cost. We can please the Supreme Lord who is a giver of liberation. And what kind of giver of liberation? He gives liberation like this, without any effect, without any feeling that he has given anything. Mukti dadati karhichit. Very easily he gives liberation. In his hand, he just take it away from him, like this. So you see how, not knowing this point, we are wasting energy. Whole day we are hearing and reading and remembering. But if you do it for Krishna, very easily we get liberation. So purified consciousness means acting as per the instruction of Krishna. What is the ultimate instruction of Krishna? Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru. You become my devotee. You remember me. You pay obeisances to me and you worship me. These 4 instructions and you come back to me. So if a person is in purified consciousness, what is the effect? He is engaged in those activities. Are you able to understand? Any person with pure consciousness, the symptom of that, if he is in pure consciousness, is that he will do these activities. Otherwise, if a person is in impure consciousness, he will simply take it as a statement and just leave it. Does it make sense to you? Okay. And that's what Prabhupada is telling, that Krishna says, give up all dharmas and just surrender to me, surrender to Krishna. That means engage in devotional service to Krishna. Simple. Consciousness is already there because we are part and parcel of Krishna. But for us, there is the affinity of being affected by the inferior modes. Modes means Rajagun, Tamagun, and Satagun. But the Lord, being the Supreme, is never affected. That is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the small individual souls, and we should always remember it. Nitya Siddha, क्या है? पूर्ण मुक्त अभिन्नत्व नाम नामिना. What is it? Yes. नाम चिंतामणि कृष्णा चैतन्य रस विग्रह पूर्ण शुद्धो नित्य मुक्त अभिन्नत्व नाम नामिना. The name of Krishna is non-different from Krishna, is beyond the modes of material nature, and if it keeps on descending to our heart through our tongue, we also become liberated from the modes of material nature. Simple, is actually very simple. If I am engaging in service of Krishna, hearing Bhagavad Gita, talking about Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, taking prasad, this is bhakti, and bhakti itself will take you above the modes of material nature. And we should always remember, a person who is himself bound in the modes of material nature cannot make others unbound. So Krishna, being completely transcendent to modes of material nature, point 1, and is also the controller of material nature, he can make us free if we surrender to him. Very simple points. You should not think that it's very difficult. Which modes of material nature are very difficult to overcome become very easily overcome by a devotee if he keeps on surrendering to Krishna, keep on serving Krishna. Okay, what is this consciousness? This consciousness is I am. Then what am I? In contaminated consciousness, I mean I am the Lord of all I survey. Oh, I think I'll stop here because that is introduction 7. So what is this consciousness and how that is affecting, we'll discuss tomorrow. If there is any questions, I'm just keeping the session small so that people can digest. What we learned today? We learned today that what is the meaning of liberation? Liberation means accepting ourselves as servants of Krishna and engaging in Krishna's service. And that is the whole, and the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to purify our consciousness. The contaminated consciousness is, I'm an enjoyer and proprietor of this world. And pure consciousness means I'm a servant of Krishna. And to this effect, the instruction of Bhagavad Gita has to be accepted, that giving up all other dharma, which is except the dharma that I'll serve Krishna exclusively. Okay? And in the beginning, I may be completely covered by modes of material nature. But if I've accepted a powerful process, it will take me up. So we should never give up the process. Okay? Any questions? Let me just check in the... Okay, there are no questions also. So we shall stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.